Hey guys, let's take a look here real quick at the deck system on my truck. We did a little review on this when I first bought it, I believe about 1.5 years ago, and now I planned on doing a 1-year review and just got so busy we didn't get around to it. So here we are. This is more like an 18-month review. Let's see how this thing has held up. As you can see, perfectly. The only changes that I've really had to make on this have been that on the tool drawer over here, where I keep a lot of my loose hand tools and drills and everything, I used the dividers for a while, but stuff kept getting underneath them. I don't know if they'd bounce or whatever while you're driving, and you'd end up with stuff underneath them, and then that would be what would hang up, opening and closing the drawer. Not so much my tools, but the actual divider piece. So I had to switch from using those and just took them out, and now it seems to work a whole lot better. I'm going to go ahead and scoot you guys around here so you can actually, let's scoot up on this so you can see what all I keep in these drawers. But try to keep pretty much everything I need, because these things, the main idea here is to reduce the amount of times that I have to haul my trailer by carrying the vast majority of my stuff with me at all times. All my drill stuff, all my normal things like jigsaws, circular saws, even battery nailers, drywall screw guns, everything, speed squares, pry bars, hammers, everything is right here. There are usually a second one or a third version of the same tool in my trailer, but as far as what I use consistently, I can grab it right out of this. That's where I usually set my little mobile workbench up, right here along the side of my truck. I open this and I have a full shop set up that quick, especially with all my fasteners and everything being right there in the cab of the truck. All my extra things like Craig jigs and everything are organized in sustainers in there. And of course right here I have my screws and things. So I have a screw sustainer here. Underneath that is the assembly kit that Festool used to sell. And of course here are even more miscellaneous items in my Sys tackle box. We could probably do just a tour on that one day. And along the sides here I carry all my like Stabila levels, my big bit set bits, you know, like the, what do they call these things anyway? They're like a bridge bolt bit, but these are super nice when you're running wiring, getting through walls and stuff. We carry several big ones there. Shims are in here. Things like impact socket sets for my little Milwaukee 3/8 impact. This little deal right here that we talked about a while back. That's been really handy when you have, you know, like a trailer tire you got to change or something, or if you're building a deck and you're running in some big ledger locks and stuff like that. It just takes all the work off of my smaller 1/4-inch impacts that I used to use to run that kind of stuff in. So, you know, extra extensions for the impacts, packs of razor blades, just a lot of handy stuff. Of course, some GRK screw boxes up here, whatnot. On back in here, I have some Festool boxes that are put together just with, you know, sanders and sandpaper and stuff with the attic lids and all, and just been a great little system here for me. The only thing that has really worn off completely is this little plate here where it used to say decked and have like a ruler for your fishing or whatever. That is gone 100%. I think I see like 3 or 4 little marks on the end, and that's it. But I have used this thing hard. I believe there's been a time or two I've had as much as 40 bags of cement on top of this. And even with that much weight on the actual bed, I can still fully use the drawers and they have complete function, no problem. You can get the very center of this to flex a little bit if you put something right on it, but as far as just flat loading the bed with bags of concrete or something, I haven't seen any real effect from that, flexing, you know, the truck or anything. So as far as that goes, I'm really impressed. It does have these little corner spots you can drop things in like that, and I keep a lot of my load tie down straps and stuff in there. If you flip these over right here, you have cup holders right in the top. So kind of cool. They put cup holders in the bottom and then that on the top. So you can just flip these over when you're parked. You can keep your drinks right there if you want to. I did go ahead and buy the locks for this system that go here in the ends of the drawers, but I think only times I've actually used those has been when I take a vacation. The rest of the time, if my tailgate's shut, 99% of the time I don't lock anything. But if I'm worried at all, I just lock my tailgate. There's no way you can get in this because there's only about a 2-inch gap on the inside of the truck bed. Plus, the best security you can have is somebody not even knowing this is here. So when you walk by my truck, all you're going to see is the junk in the bed. You won't notice that there's a bed floor in here with stuff underneath it. And even if you did, then you have a locked tailgate and whatnot to get past as well. So I haven't been very worried about this system whatsoever. It's worked well. I'll probably open these drawers anywhere from 10 to 30 times a day, depending on what type of jobs we're working on. So this is 18 months later and fully loaded. I mean, they roll just like that. You can just close them no problem with one finger. This one I can't because this little sustainer here with this handle, that top of that handle, you can see a little black on it there. It rubs when it goes in and out, but it's not enough to keep me from doing it because I really like having that sustainer in here. You could take the handle off the top of it though, because it doesn't really come out that often, but just a nice working little system. I'm very impressed. I think for not too much over $1,000, you can have one of these for your truck, maybe $1,250 or so, and it really performs well. I did used to have a divider here, and I piled a lot of little hand tools and stuff up here, and that just turned into a complete mess. It was better to just remove it all, because in my shop trailer I do a similar thing. I like an open storage for my hand tools where when I walk in I can see everything. Well, as soon as I pull this drawer out, I can see everything that's in here and grab right for the one piece that I do need right now. To me, that saves more time than anything else. Just knowing where everything is, having everything visible. You do have about 2 feet plus of storage between where the drawer stops opening and the back end. So normally tools I don't use that often, I stick them in the back end, but this is still probably in my top 80% of tools that I use every single day. There'll still be things, like my dust extractors and whatnot that'll just go in. I keep a spot in the back seat open so I can load extra whatever for the day right back there. And then of course, with this bed system, you don't have wheel wells anymore because this goes right over the wheel wells, and it makes it where I feel like I actually have more space in the bed, especially when I'm hauling bulky items. There's just a lot more space. And after adding the ladder rack to the top of it too, I no longer needed that super angle to keep wood in place when you turn and whatnot. With this deck system, if you don't have a ladder rack and you're putting wood in here, you can't stack very much unless you're putting your tailgate down and strapping everything, because your angle is so low that when you turn you can actually get a board to come out the side. But by putting on a ladder rack, which I needed anyway, it completely solved that, and I can pile wood as high as I need to back here in supplies, and it works great. Of course, the year I decide to have the lumber yards deliver most everything for me, that's what I do. But it's still kind of a nice feature to have and been really good. But anyway, I appreciate y'all being here. This is the first video trying out the new Rode Wireless Go system instead of the other mic. There's a pretty stiff Oklahoma breeze going through here right now, and hopefully it's not too terrible of audio for y'all. I'd like to be able to start doing a few outside videos and a few more when I'm actually working, and I needed an audio system that didn't just get quiet as soon as I turned around or walked away from the camera. So hopefully this system helps. We'll find out. Thank y'all for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this out if you know somebody that's looking for a bed storage system for the truck. I'm kind of impressed with mine so far. But your mileage may vary depending on how violent your helpers are, I assume. But I do use this with 3 2 to 3 full-time helpers most of the time, and they're pretty respectful of it and haven't really had any damage other than it getting slammed once in a while. But I mean, you can shut it pretty good, and it's not just going to damage it. Of course, this side won't shut all the way like that, and I leave a T-lock up. But yeah, this side, it will catch on that handle right there, but as soon as I just push a little bit, it'll go right on past it, and then I can just shut it. But the way they shut, the way they lock, the way they're built, I don't see any real wear on this thing other than my ruler going away in 18 months of commercial use. So I'd recommend it for anybody that is looking for a good way to get a lot of stuff out of your cab, or maybe you don't quite have the budget to get a tool trailer yet and you'd like to not worry about your stuff getting tore up. The reason I went with this, a big part of it, is just buying like a knack box or something for the back of your truck is going to be, you know, $500 to $700 for something big enough to matter. And then most of what you're getting is depth, which means that all your tools are getting buried every day. This keeps everything spread out a lot more. Sure, you can get a couple tools on top of each other, but you're not just creating a huge dumpster pile of tools that you can't ever find what you want. Everything's getting beat up all the time. But as far as water intrusion, during rain and whatnot, the way they've designed their little wiper system here, I don't really get water in my drawers at all. The only time when things can get damp in there is if you have a severe foggy situation. Like if you walk outside and it's like pea soup, then when you open your drawer, all your tools are going to be damp. That's just tremendous humidity in the air, and this is not a sealed system like a refrigerator door or something. You're going to be able to get air in here. But the good part of being able to get air in there means that as soon as that fog burns off, everything in my drawers is dry again. Especially since this whole system's black and I assume it gets hot and just gets rid of it quickly that way. But everything's stored in here, from my batteries to multiple Festools. There are thousands of dollars worth of Festools in here that have been in here for 18 months. I've had no issues with any of them, and they never leave these drawers except to work. They don't go in the house, they don't go in the trailer. This is where they live. So I'm impressed with that. We'll see y'all on the next one.